barley. Give me a packet of pearl barley.
Oh, barley. Making yourself some broth?
Well, I'm making some broth, but not for myself. I'm taking a panful down to Ken Barlow, get some nourishment into it, lad.
I don't suppose it's overeating.
No, well, you lose your appetite at times like this.
Yes, heaven knows why. It seems to be some sort of... We punish ourselves. We think of the things we should have done and we haven't have done, and we just can't enjoy our meals until our consciences have settled down.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth in that, Mrs. Short.
Don't I know it? You won't remember little Tommy Myers off John Barham Street, will you? He was 74 when his wife was took. And it just seemed as though he went on hunger strike the day of the funeral. He wasn't a big man, he just went to skin and bone. And he needn't have starved. He'd cooked for her for the last 3 years of her life, to my certain knowledge. And he followed her after 6 months. And it wasn't as though he'd now to live for. He'd got his bowling.
Yeah, well, it's like you said before, Mrs. Sharples. I mean, you just don't enjoy it. I mean, after Phyllis died, I used to set the table, I'd find myself putting out 2 places, you know. Well, I'd look at it, I'd think, oh, blow it. And I wouldn't bother.
Oh, but then you saw sense. You didn't go to skin and bone, did you?
That's true. Afternoon. Oh, taking a day off, are you?
Oh, I finished early. I thought I'd do some shopping for Emily.
Taking it bad, is she?
Yes, you could say that, Mrs. Sharples. It's not surprising. She and Janet were very friendly.
It's not that we know anything much, do we?
No, the police have been round again.
Yeah.
And we know that she took too many pills of some sort.
Now, that's the rumour.
It's more than a rumour.
Well, accidents happen.
So do other things. Well, it was just something he said.
That's what you're thinking, isn't it?
No, I really don't know any more than that, Emily. I just know there was a bottle of pills and she'd obviously taken a fair amount, but more than that, I honestly don't know.
I mean, why she committed suicide?
No, now you're putting words in my mouth. No, I don't mean that. I mean, why it happened, whether it was accidental or...
You think she took them deliberately, don't you?
I think there's a strong possibility, yes.
Because she was what? Depressed about something?
Yes.
I didn't see it. I turned her away. I was so wrapped up in my own stupid little problems.
Hey, come on, come on. I mean, what special gift have you got that you should see these things? I didn't see it. I only suspect now because I'm being wise after the event. And so are you. It's what we do, you know. Afterwards, and only afterwards, we add up all the facts and we come up with the answer. Until then, we don't even do our sums. I mean, you don't look for the answer until the question's been asked.
Oh, with some questions you should. I mean, how would we ever prevent anything if we didn't? I mean, this was a human being, Ken. She was a very good friend of mine. I should have known about her. I should have done something. I shouldn't be here asking why she killed herself.
Before we even know if she did.
You think she did?
Well, I said I thought there was a strong possibility, but it's receding by the minute. The more I think about it, the less likely it becomes. I mean, this was Janet. I know people of half her strength who suffered far more and survived.
Was she strong? I mean, can we be sure?
Look, if you want to blame yourself, get in the queue.
Oh, Ken.
Oh, hello, Mr. Barlow. Detective Sergeant Phillips.
Oh, yes, that's right. I was expecting you. Come in.
Thank you.
Go through. This is a neighbour of mine, Mrs. Bishop, Detective Sergeant Phillips.
How do you do?
How do you do? I'll pop back later this evening, or Ernest, just to see if...
Yes, well, I'll be in. Do sit down.
Right, thank you. Very neighbourly, these streets, aren't they? I expect you get a lot of visitors.
Yes.
Right, well, I'll try and make this as painless as possible, Mr. Barlow. Now then, you found your wife in a bed, unconscious, at about 8:30 this morning. You noticed a bottle of tablets on the bedroom floor, which you took to be sleeping pills, and there weren't many tablets in the bottle.
I didn't think there were any.
There were just a couple, as a matter of fact. You immediately phoned for an ambulance. Your wife was taken to Weatherfield General, where she was found to be dead. As a result of information laid before the police, Constable Maskell visited you at about 10 p.m. Is that correct, sir?
Yes.
Right. Oh, incidentally, your wife's name was Janet. It was just Janet, was it? Well, I do have one bit of information for you, Mr. Barlow. I'd hardly call it news because I expect you suspected it anyway. But the post-mortem confirmed that your wife died of barbiturate poisoning.
Yes, I did suspect that.
Yes, I thought you probably would. Now, you told Constable Maskell that you didn't know your wife was taking sleeping pills?
Yeah, that is correct, yeah.
Well, who's your doctor?
Well, I don't know who my wife's doctor was.
Oh?
Look, I don't think this has been explained properly. My wife and I were separated. We've been living apart now for nearly 3 years.
Oh, I see. That would explain why there were no clothes or possessions here.
Yes.
Yes. What was she doing here, then?
Well, she visited me yesterday, late afternoon, and I put her up for the night. She slept upstairs, and I slept down here. The rest, I think you know.
Oh, I see. I see. So, normally you live here alone?
Oh, no. You could say I lodge here with my uncle. Well, that's not strictly true. He's my first wife's uncle. I call him my uncle, Mr. Tatlock.
Ah, I see, yes. Well, he's not here at the moment, then.
No, he's in Glasgow.
I see. Right. So, you say that your wife, I'm talking about your second wife, came here yesterday afternoon?
Yes, yeah.
Well, presumably you had a chance to chat to her before she went up to bed.
Yes, I did.
How would you describe her manner? I mean, how was she emotionally?
Well, I'd say she was, depressed.
You told Elsa that daft fairy story yet?
No.
Will you stand still while I'm talking to you?
I always dance while I'm talking.
Look, this is important. I'm not one of your daft lads.
Which one aren't you?
Be serious. It's you I'm thinking about. It's you who wants to stay here. I'm all right, Jack.
I'm waiting for the right moment, and when that moment comes, I will have Elsie crying her eyes out. She'll be begging me to move in here with my family.
Some hopes.
Oh, all the best actors on Hollywood, you know. I'll get her an Oscar for this.
So, you say your wife had been living with another man recently?
Yes, that's right.
Would his name be Denton?
Yes, Vince Denton. I don't know his address, though.
No, you see, we found a letter in your wife's handbag, and to be frank, it was puzzling us, because apparently she was calling herself Mrs. Denton. How was she getting on with Mr. Denton?
I didn't know that.
Do you know how she got on with Mr. Denton?
She didn't seem very happy.
Is that why she came round here?
I don't know. Yes, I suppose it was.
What exactly did she want from you, Mr. Barlow?
She wanted me to take her back.
And you didn't want her back?
No, I didn't think that was a very good idea. We'd tried it once before and it didn't work out.
Oh, why not?
Well, we were temperamentally unsuited. She was more ambitious than I was. And she used to get annoyed with me when I didn't push myself in the way she wanted me to push myself. Look, is all this necessary?
We've got to find out what we can, Mr. Barlow. Put it all together, see if it helps. When we've got questions, we must find the answers.
Yes, I know.
So, you say your wife used to get annoyed with you. Was she annoyed with you last night when you told her she couldn't come back?
No, not really. She was... Well, I didn't know this then, but I do now. She was desperate.
But there wasn't what you call a row of any sort?
Oh, no, nothing like that.
Did you see your wife again after she went to bed? Before you found her in the morning, I mean?
No.
Did she ever threaten to take her own life?
No? Yeah, well, not as far as I know.
You didn't find a note of any kind, anyway?
No.
Oh. Right, well, I think that's about it for the moment. Thank you, Mr. I shall have to make a few more inquiries, so if you can bear with me again, I might have one or two more questions for you. I'll see myself out. Thank you.
It's amazing how many of them do last for 25 years. I've had 3 of them in my lifetime.
3?
Victoria, George V, and Her Present Majesty.
Mrs. Sharples, you weren't alive when Queen Victoria had a silver jubilee.
By gum, you were in well.
Don't be daft. I said I've had 3 of them in my lifetime.
She didn't last long, though, did she? Not when you think. I mean, could only have been, what, in her 30s?
Well, which one's this we're talking about now?
Well, Janet Barlow,
who'd you think?
I thought my Nicole was back for a minute.
Mrs. Ogden, we are talking about the coming Silver Jubilee, not the sad affair of Kenneth's wife.
Yeah, but you can't not talk about it, can you? It's only happened next door.
You can if you try, Hilda. Believe me.
Give it a rest.
What's up? All still conscience struck, are you? Does nobody offered a helping hand like what I did?
I near as damn it married her at one time, you know. I suppose that gives me a right to talk about her. She is the last person in the world I would have thought to do away with herself.
Len, you never know. You think you can read somebody like a book. Everybody has something tucked away up there that they never let out for nobody.
Have you?
We all have.
I'll go and see Ken in a bit.
I'll come with you. Give us a ring when you're going.
I'll give him something to drink. You give him something to look at.
Well, if that's all you've got, that's all you can give. See you.
Look, we're all assuming it was suicide, but it could well turn out to have been accidental.
Oh, not much chance of that.
Yeah, well, anyway, it's up to a coroner's inquest, not you. Now, leave it to the proper authority to decide. Just give it a rest.
Yes, we've had quite enough, Mrs. Ogden.
More than enough.
Oh, well, suit yourselves. At least I've gotten out to reproach myself for.
Hello, Mrs. Walker. Good evening, all. I'm making a few inquiries into the death of Mrs. Janet Barlow. I wonder if anybody heard anything from next door at all last night. Anything unusual?
Can't say I did.
Sorry, Mrs. Walker, for interrupting, if you don't mind. When I was checking toilets last night at closing time, they're on this side, you see, and I heard these voices all sort of raised like.
Could you hear what was being said?
Well, no, I didn't hear any words. It was just like raised, if you know what I mean.
How much raised?
Well, you know, just raised.
Yes, I see. Did you talk to Mrs. Barlow at all yesterday afternoon? Do you know anyone who did?
Well, there's one or two who did, yeah. She called at the Bishop's down the street and round the cabin.
Oh, the cabin, yes, I know it. Right, thanks very much.
Sorry.
You just can't keep your trap shut, can you? And you're no better, Fred.
Oh, take no notice of her, Fred. It's like he says, let the proper authorities deal with it. And in case you're all thinking anything, I shall tell him what I know in private.
Oh, better. Oh, God bless you, Mrs. Copperfield. Lovely. Have you found yourself a flat yet?
Oh, isn't that funny? We were just saying. No, I haven't. I'll have to go back to our place, I suppose.
Oh, I don't know why you left there in the first place.
Scared, I suppose.
Scared?
Well, I never told you before, so forget it. It's daft.
No, daft or not. Come on, I want to know. Tell us.
Well, if you must know, we're landlord.
I thought it was the landlady.
No, a landlord. He had funny little ways, like hiding at top of stairs in the dark and shouting, "Hi, Littler." Or he used to knock on your bedroom and say, "Germany calling, Germany calling." He thought you were Lord Haw-Haw or something like that.
Go on.
Well, that's all, really. Except he had this room full of German things, swastikas and that. And he used to wear this funny German helmet with a big spike on top. Well, he never touched me, but I always thought the next time he might.
You are not going back there. You are not going back there. You can have a week here to look round, but keep looking, mind you.
Oh, and she kind. You are better than my mum, you. She never believed a word I said.
What sort of questions was she asking?
Well, about Ken, mostly.
What about him?
Well, she didn't ask much, actually. If he'd got a girlfriend. Well, she was his wife when all said and done. Well, I didn't talk to her much. I was just going out when she came.
Did she seem at all depressed to you?
No, not really. But I didn't take much notice. As I said, I was just going out when she came. Oh, hello. You at third degree and all?
Why, should she have? Did you see Mrs. Barlow yesterday, Mrs. Bishop?
Briefly, yes.
Did you notice anything unusual about her?
No, I was rather busy at the time.
Well, I'm told she was depressed, you see. You didn't notice anything at all?
No.
Well, you're a friend of hers, aren't you?
Yes, you could say I was a friend.
And you didn't notice her mood? Oh, no, of course, you were busy at the time, weren't you? All right. Thanks very much, anyway.
Hey, I'm sorry, kid.
You see, there's only one thing that worries me, Mr. Barlow, and that is that raised voices were heard in here about 10:30 p.m. Now, presumably they could only have been yours and Mrs. Barlow's, right?
Well, we were the only two in here, yes. Possibly she got a little excited. After all, she was distressed and overwrought.
But you still say it wasn't a row of any kind?
No, it wasn't a row of any kind. Look, I explained the situation to her, that it was no good coming back, and possibly we got a little overheated, but that is all.
She told you she left of her own accord?
Yes, she did.
You see, I'm only asking that question again because it doesn't tie in at all with what Mr. Denton told me. Now, he's not as sensitive as you are. He made no bones about it. He said he told her to leave. But you didn't know that.
No, I didn't. I've already told you what she said.
Would it have made any difference in your attitude towards her if you'd known she had nowhere to go back to?
It might. I don't know. It might possibly, I don't know.
Yeah, I can understand that. Right, I think that about wraps it up. Thank you very much, Mr. Barlow. Thank you for your help. It's not been an easy day for you. Stay where you are. I'll see my own way out.
By heck, I've seen some performances in me time.
Oh, good one. I touch of the Faye Dunaway.
Touch of the Eddie Yates, more like. Hey up.
I thought you were staying in. I was, but I changed my mind when I suddenly developed this craving for fish chips and mushy peas. But I'm going to have a drink first, gin and tonic, if you don't mind.
I heard that. Hey, I've got something for you. In tonight's paper, a flat, 17 Kitchener Street. Don't touch it with a barge pole. It's that fella I was telling you about.
What fella? Oh, blow the drink. Let's go for the fish and chips.
This pot-bellied little landlord given to lurking on landings. And his room, which I only saw when I went to pay the rent, so I don't mean what you think I mean. His room, would you believe it, was full of swastikas and SS armbands. He even had a picture of Adolf. And you know, he'd sneak on landing and he'd shout through my keyhole, Germany calling. Oh, we were a rumman.
Did he have the helmet with a spike on the top?
No, why, do you know him?
No, but she does very well. She had a landlord just like that, didn't you, Chuck? That's why she can't go back, can't you, Chuck? Because you're scared, aren't you, Chuck?
Oh, you naughty girl.
All right, it's a fair cop. I'll go and pack me things. You don't have to kind. It's not the time for us turning backs on people after view of what's happened. Come on, let's take the weight off our feet. Ta.
Well, he's been round there twice already, to my certain knowledge. Oh, heck, when these detectives get their teeth into something, they don't let go, do they?
Can I have a couple of bottles to take out, please? Still on about the tragedy, then?
We never said a word about you, Mrs. Ogden.
You know, it's a pity he didn't have a word with me, that detective, seeing as I was the only one what asked the poor girl in for a cup of tea.
Why don't you go and see him, then?
'Cause she never came, that's why. But at least I did ask, which is more than their so-called friends did. Oh, I seen her coming out of your house with a face as long as a fiddle, so obviously she didn't get no change out of your wife. Oh, heaven preserve us from do-gooders. Plain speaking, that's what's wanted in this world. Right, do you want some? Bet.
Hilda, if I catch you saying one word of this to my wife, I'll... So help me,
Go on, say it. Lay preachers. I've always said there was more men of violence inside the church than out.
Hey, put a sock in it, Hilda.
Oh, now, don't you start.
If you don't shut up, I'll be over this flipping counter to you in a minute.
Ooh, flaming hypocrites.
May I say, Mrs. Walker, and I was only standing on the sidelines at the time, but may I say that that remark of yours, when Hilda said, were we talking about the tragedy, and you said we never said a word about her, that remark was a little gem. It was good enough for me, that.
That is praise indeed. I'm so glad you liked it. I do have my moments. I remember once at the operatic. It's rather a long story, but it's worth telling.
Do you know, Fred, I seem to be doing such a lot of that tonight. Opening my big mouth and getting other folk into lumber.
I know what you mean, Doc.
Yeah, I think I'm stoned.
You're all so tired.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been, Anyway, thanks for the visit. Appreciate it.
You look a lot better than you did.
Do you know he actually smiled a couple of times? Now, Kim, you try and put it all behind you.
Oh, it's easy enough to forget the event. Not so easy to forget what a swine I've been.
Would you believe he's at it again? Now, I thought we'd sorted all this out about 9 o'clock. I thought we'd decided there was nothing you could do, or I could do, or he could do, or anybody else for that matter, Ken. Do you remember? Janet was her kind of woman. What she decided on, she did. Hey, we're being watched.
Yeah, it's been a funny sort of day. I've had more arms full of women today.
Do you mean I'm not the only one?
You're the best.
You're only saying that because you're half slewed and very tired. Go on, bed.
No, I'm sleeping down here.
All right. Bed, then. Come on, I'll get you started.
Have you no shame?
Don't worry, love. I'll be gone long before it starts getting interested. Come on, Fairclough. We're keeping this lad from his beauty sleep. Come on, give us a kiss. See you in the morning.
Ta-ra, Ken. Hey, can I have a word?
Well, I've never found a way of stopping you.
I thought you were great tonight.
Oh, well, what appealed exactly? My Parisian perfume or my silver fox?
No, you know what I mean. Ken,
Well, he's a friend.
would you do the same for me?
Are you jealous? You go through what he's going through and find out.
No, thanks. No, really, I thought you were just great. It's what he needed.
I'm all things to all men, me.
Yeah.
Well, go on.
What?
Kiss me. Or are we going to stand here all night? All right. You've had your ration. I tell you what, it's tiring work cheering your friends up.
Come on, I'll walk you home.
It's further that way,
I'm no fool.
aren't you?
And the drama continues here on Granada Plus. Coming up next, families. That's after the break.